Hello out there to everyone at the liveactionanime.org forums. I am Thrash Till Death, and it occurs to me that over the course of all the video reviews I've been doing over the past few months, I've never actually given out a 4-star rating on the 4-star scale that I use. It's always maxed out at maybe 3.5 stars. And I figure that sort of leaves things a little incomplete. I've never set a real precedent for a film that I consider to be a standard for others to be judged by. So today I'm going to bring you a review of a film that I consider to be among the best works of Japanese animation that I've ever seen, one of the real highlights of this subculture. That film is Satoshi Kon's 2001 second film, Millennium Actress. This is a film that Satoshi Kon made directly after his 1997 debut Perfect Blue, which I gave 4 stars in the previous review, and nevertheless I consider Millennium Actress probably to be his masterwork. It's probably the best and most refined expression of his really distinct storytelling style. The story follows a documentary crew who are going out to interview a 70-year-old actress at roughly the turn of the millennium. This actress' name is Chiyoko Fujiwara, and she's been sort of a major star in the Japanese studio system over the past 70 years of her life. And she sort of begins to tell the documentary crew about all the real secrets of her life, and how she'd sheltered a sort of deviant artist when she was a young schoolgirl, and how over the course of her life she'd wanted to find this one man she'd loved early on in her life, and how she'd sort of dedicated her whole life over her career as an actress to finding this one man she'd loved and lost. And to this point the sort of film begins to enter into expressionistic territory. The camera crew starts to find themselves in her memories, and the memories of her own past, her own life, begin to sort of merge with the fiction of her films that she's made over the course of her life. The same characters reoccur as in different acts over the course of the film. Different settings are moved through over the course of history, and if you've ever seen a Satoshi Kon film before, he's made stuff like Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, Millennium Actress. You'll probably be familiar with this style, this idea of moving between different layers of fictional consciousness, the repetition of certain patterns and the recycling of different icons and symbols, each one taking on a new layer of depth and meaning each time the viewer and the characters see them. He used it to a similar effect in Perfect Blue and his more recent 2006 film Paprika, but this is probably the tightest and the most refined expression of the style he's ever used so far. Whereas in Perfect Blue, his debut, it was used to create this sort of horrific, oppressive atmosphere, which sort of hinted at this sort of malign presence going on behind the scenes of the action. Millennium Actress uses the same sort of technique to a very different end. It gives the impression of a life told in full, taking a story that's set across various historical periods, courtesy of Chiyoko's various films that she's made over the course of her lifetime, and sort of moves fluidly between them all in what's essentially a fragmentary but ultimately coherent narrative that tells the story of her life through all these various different sequences and settings. And it sort of liberates the film from sticking in any one setting for too long, and it really does take what would otherwise be a fairly dry sort of melodrama, and it absolutely sets it loose, makes it exciting, makes it dynamic, and makes it colourful. And it gives the impression of a really grand journey of this universal romance, and it's really responsible for sucking the viewer in. It's something, I know the word is usually sort of reserved for the trite marketing slogans on Disney trailers, but it's actually a magical journey. It's one of those few occasions where the word magical is really truly warranted. On top of that, it's a tribute to the expressive power of animation. You couldn't do a film like this in live action. The sort of recurrence of real-life actors in various different roles throughout various different settings over the course of the film would occur as really artificial and really staged. But with animation, Satoshi Kon is able to move between all these different settings, reuse all the various symbols and various character designs, and place them in different contexts, and we're able to suspend our disbelief and just go along with what the characters represent and the sort of emotions that they encapsulate, rather than just being bogged down by our own unwillingness to suspend our disbelief, I suppose. So Millennium Actress, there's really not much more to say about it than that it succeeds on pretty much every level it sets out to impress the audience on. It's funny, it's romantic, it's sad, it's heartwarming, it's a tribute to the power of cinema, it's got pathos, it's got pretty much anything you could ask for out of a film. It's exciting, it's genuinely exciting, just even for someone like me who isn't generally into romantic stories. So this is, I think, a film not only anime fans, but really fans of cinema in any form owes it to themselves to see. This is a really extraordinary, powerful work of animation. So yeah, if you haven't seen Millennium Actress, this is a film you absolutely need to see. If you haven't seen any Satoshi Kon film, this is the place to start, because it is absolutely a film that transcends any sort of genre boundaries or intended audiences. This is one that has a really universal appeal, and it is, in every sense of the word, extraordinary, and I do consider it to be a masterpiece. And there is no ambiguity in my mind about it. It is absolutely a 4-star film on the 4-star scale. So yeah, that's me out. Go and watch Satoshi Kon's Millennium Actress, because you owe it to yourself. It is a really extraordinary work. Thank you, I'm out. I'm Threshold Death. Goodbye.